In a world of so much negativity, where things are constantly pulling you down, the Word of God can build you up. Get inspired with Isabella Pina.
Hello, I'm Isabella. Welcome to Get Inspired. Today, the topic of our message is You Are Love. Part of the You Are series. There's a part 1 and a part 2. But before I get into the word, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time out to look at my videos. And I would like to give a special thank you to my family and friends back home in the small village of Benz in the island of Dominica. I want to thank my friend Doreen for allowing my brother to view my video. I really appreciate it. Now let's get into the word. It's taken from 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 8. You know, 1 Corinthians 13 is usually referred to as the love chapter. So there's no way I'm going to talk about love and don't talk about 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. I choose the topic for love because it is something that I had to understand and, just go through for myself with God. Growing up as a little kid in the islands, like most of y'all that listen to my previous videos, you heard, I told y'all I grew up with my grandmother, but that's my grandmother by mother. I spent most of my time with, she raised me. But also while I was living with my grandmother during the summertime, I had to visit my grandmother by my father's side. My grandmother by my father, to me, growing up as a little kid, was a very mean person. She ill-treated me. She did very mean things to me. Some of which I'm not going to get into details on the camera about, but the words that were coming out of her mouth, how ugly I was, how black I was, how my dad was not my father, that I will never be anything good, especially from the village that I come from. Nothing good comes from there. And just the things that she would say from her mouth, that was very painful to me as a little kid. So while I was growing up, I resented her. I literally hated her. I was thinking of things to do to her the next time I see her. I left the islands and came to the United States. And while I was in the United States, every time I heard her name, it made me angry. I was thinking of things that I could do to her, what I'm going to say to her the next time I see her, how mean I'm going to react to her, because what can she do to me? I'm grown right now. She can't do anything to me. Now is payback time because now I'm grown. So, going through all of this, I met my husband. And when I met my husband, I explained to him what was going on and stuff. And my husband said, you cannot live like that. And I was like what? He said, you cannot live with just so much anger and so much hatred for your grandmother inside of you because it's going to block your blessings. And I was like, yeah, but I just want her to feel a little bit of what I felt when I was growing up and what I felt throughout my years in life after I left the islands because of the things that she said to me, the insecurity caused for me, the low self-esteem. So my husband said, no, we got to take care of that. I think when I was growing up, I grew up with low self-esteem because I personally at the time blame her for 90% of what happened to me and 10% of me being foolish enough to believe what she said. For that reason, I truly, truly hated her. So my husband decided that we were going to face the problem. We were going to get in the vehicle, we were going to drive to Houston, and we were going to talk to my grandmother. So we got in the vehicle and we drove to Houston, and I had to go talk to my grandmother. And on my way, while we're driving there, all I could think about is how I'm going to get her and how I'm going to say mean things to her so she could feel the pain and the hurt that I felt growing up. And I was not hearing anything that my husband was saying. My husband saying we needed to face the pain, we needed to forgive her and move on. These were the last words I wanted to hear. I was finally going to let her know how I feel. So we drove to Houston, and while we were driving to Houston, my husband was thinking peace, but I was thinking about telling her a piece of my mind and revenge. I rehearsed over and over what I was going to say. We got to Houston, and nothing like that happened. God allowed me to see her for who she is. Instead of telling her off, I felt sorry for her. Something inside of me changed, and immediately my thought process shifted. I felt thankful instead of angry. You might be saying, thankful for what? I felt thankful because I suddenly realized that I grew up to be who I am with that strong personality, and she had a role to play in it. Growing up, I had to fight and earn for everything in life. Nothing was given to me. I realized that even through the abuse, God's grace was already at work in my life. As a child, I just did not know that. He permitted those things to happen because he knew I could handle it. It was all part of my destiny. God knew that later in life, he was going to use me to minister to women who have been through emotional and even physical abuse. Going to Houston made me realize not only God is love, but he actually made me love. God was love to me, and then I was love to my grandmother. The love of God came to me, and then it began to flow through me. So all these things that I made up in my mind that I was going to say to my grandmother, I never said any of those things. I could actually look at her and tell her that I did love her. What about you? What are you experiencing today? Who or what is preventing you from loving with Christ's kind of love? It may not be a grandmother, but who is that person that has hurt you so bad that you cannot seem to let go of the pain of the past? You do not even see yourself forgiving them, much less for loving them. Is it a mother? Is it your mother that left you to be raised by other family members? Is it your father or mother who abused you and then left you all alone? Is it a best friend who you thought will always be there for you, but he or she turned around and stabbed you in the back? Were you raped by someone you love and trusted? Is it a boss or a coworker that makes your life miserable? Someone in church you trusted, but they broke that trust? A cheating wife, a lying two-timing husband? Whatever it is, trust God to heal you and then use you to be loved to someone else. It reminds me of something my pastor, Apostle Tony Brazelton, said. Jesus did not come as an example for us, but he actually came as an example of us. Jesus is love. Jesus became love everywhere he went. As Jesus is, so are we in this world. Therefore, we are love, and everywhere we go, we should become love, just like Jesus did. So I let you know today, get inspired to let God heal you. Get inspired to let God use you. Get inspired to become love in the world today. God's love has come to you. Now let it flow through you. You are love. Until next time, see you next week.